Hello and welcome to Third Act Film. Today we're going to be discussing sci-fi fan theories. I'm Todd James, and with me today is James Forbes.
Hello!
Alright, so James has actually got these theories. He's going to be giving them to me, and I'm going to be telling him why they're awful. Alright, go.
If you can, like we did with the Marvel fan theories, if you could
link
give
here.
a score. Yeah, I'll put a link here if I remember. If you could give a score per one. Now, I'm not taking credit for any of these. These are just theories I found across
Famous
the web
theories,
from many different sources. But yeah. Alright, first one. We're getting into the world of The Matrix.
Okay, I like The Matrix.
Ooh, The Matrix, yeah.
That's just what the machines want me to say.
Yeah.
Get it?
Get it? What if The Matrix...
Oh, God.
I think you know where I'm going with this. Is a matrix for the computers and not for the people.
Okay, I think I've heard this before. But elaborate a little bit.
So that the story makes you believe that humans have been plugged into this world because there was a war between humans and robots, and that the robots won. Yeah. But they were forced to imprison and drain the energy from humans. Yeah. Because humans blacked out the sky. And
they were solar powered.
And they were mostly solar powered, so they had to find a new energy source. Yeah. And then, in order to keep us all as batteries, they created this thing called the Matrix for us all to live in. Yeah. And yeah. But what if the war the war still happened? Yeah. But the humans won. Yeah. And that they, in fact, had actually destroyed all of the robots. Right. And created this whole story of robots versus humans and robots trying to win and everything like that. Created this whole story to imprison the AI of the Matrix. So they could, perhaps they can still use robots, but they make them believe that this world is real. That is the Matrix for the Matrix.
Right, so if I got this right, humans are like they are now. Yeah. And they have got the machines plugged in to believe that they are the machines who have the humans plugged in.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. It's so obvious, isn't it?
I quite like it. My only potential issue is that the films didn't hint at it in any way. Yeah. But it is a real... Like, if there was The Matrix 4 and they... Revealed. And that's what it was.
And they revealed that, like... it's cracked out the program and it's going to attack the real world.
Then, then maybe that would be pretty cool. Yeah, it's an interesting idea. And as well, have you ever seen the Animatrix? The bunch of short... They all sort of expand the world. I think it's excellent. Yeah. So, some of them are a bit dodgy, but most of them are really good. And if they had, another bunch of those, because they'd be cheap to produce, I think, to expand the world, and maybe one of them hinted at that. Yeah. I'd be like, whoa, like Bill and Ted. Yeah. Keanu Reeves.
Nice one.
Yeah, a little time travel connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be happy if that. Not happy, but I'd be like, oh, that's really cool, really interesting.
What would you give that out of 10?
Like a 8.5, maybe even 9. Like that's a really cool idea. Oh, okay. Like literally, my only thing is, if there was even one line that hinted at it in the film, I'd be like, perfect, it's true.
If there was more evidence to support it, other than just...
It's just that somebody's thought of it, and it's kind of a cool idea. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, I'll go for 8.5.
Cool. Yeah. The next one...
Okay.
Another kind of robot verse, Terminators.
Okay.
Now, I'm not pitching another unconventional trilogy like we did previously.
Link here. Right.
But I am... The idea is... So, we're taking the basic concepts of Terminator again. Okay. The robots of the future destroyed Earth. Well, not destroyed Earth. They've destroyed civilization. They're killing all humans. And they send back a robot back in time to kill the leader of the rebellion, which is led by John Connor, the Resistance, actually. And they send back a robot back in time to kill him before he was born, to kill his mother. Yeah? Yeah. But that actually creates John Connor. By sending back a Terminator, they actually create John Connor, so it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Yeah.
Well, that's not the theory. That's in right. I was going to say
that's what the story is.
The film, right?
But what if the Terminators did it deliberately? What if you think of it in a...
What? Okay, carry on.
What if it's more that the Terminator and Skynet had reached such a level of intelligence, and they've realised that you need something... Think of like Ultron in Age of Ultron, when he was like, you need something like Noah's Ark to happen again. You need something to be so devastating and wipes out humankind and gives them reason to live again so they don't make the mistakes that they did before. Perhaps Skynet, instead of being like, just blank, destroy all humans, it's like, no, let's completely wreck this up and let's give them a chance by sending back a robot, which then spawns them a leader for them to rally behind and to give them knowledge of how to survive against them. Maybe that explains why every time John Connor fought a Terminator, they just kept throwing him. We're not actually ever going to kill him. We need him to stay alive.
And how, like, a machine misses with a gun.
Yeah, a machine, misses with a gun. And that's why John Connor was able to survive it all, because they wanted him to survive it, to then...
And they're secretly programmed to not kill him, but they don't know it.
Yeah, that they actually want this resistance, and they're planning it for themselves to lose, but still to completely wipe out as many humans as possible, so that humankind can start again.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah,
I don't love it because that kind of negates every film after Terminator 1. Because if you know, it's Kyle Reese goes back to defend Sarah Connor, and spoilers for Terminator, gets her pregnant with John Connor. There is then no purpose to send back another Terminator again, because John Connor is already conceived. Skynet is already going to happen.
I suppose, but you know, if it hardens him, it tests him more, and then he learns more with each new Terminator that gets sent back, and and as well as you know, if you change it up a bit, that there is more than just one mindset of Skynet, and that there's a much older version who may have sent back the first original Terminator.
And actually, in the next few times, in like 2, 3, blah blah blah, the humans send back a Terminator as well.
Yeah.
So maybe the humans have sent back the Terminator, and the Terminators have been like, well, we better send someone back to make them think that we've sent someone back.
You're making no sense.
Hold on, because the point I just made was that why would they send another Terminator back? There's no need to.
Yeah.
But with time travel, we're assuming that the humans and the machines in Terminator 2 send them back at the same time.
Yeah.
This is time travel. They could have sent them back 1,000 years apart to the same point in time.
True, yeah.
So maybe the humans have sent back the Terminator first.
Yeah.
Thinking, oh, we better, to protect John Connor.
Yeah.
But the Terminators have been like, well, we can't have, or the machines have been like, we can't have Miles Dyson or whatever getting his hands on this Terminator technology early, otherwise it's gonna F up our plans, and it's gonna... I
suppose, yeah.
And so they've been like, the real purpose was to send back that Terminator to kill that other Terminator. And this is really really elaborating on this theory a lot.
Yeah. Well, it's an interesting concept, and it could actually... I've always wondered with the Terminator series, how the hell do you end it? How do I ever get to a point where you're like, all right, done? Because
like with Genesis, they were like, oh, they sent one back further.
Yeah.
Then they could just send one back to be like John Connor's grandparents.
Yeah, we'll send back to Adam and Eve, like... You know what I mean? Like, Terminator
this apple's
Eden.
Delicious. Oh, God! Like, you're right. Yeah. Yeah.
If it was going to be Terminator Eden, you would have to put, like, one of the letters.
Eden.
Like,
I just said it.
A-N. Yeah.
E-Y-N.
Yeah.
Terminator with a Y.
Yeah.
Yeah. I quite like that, actually.
Okay. Score?
Again, pretty high.
Oh wow! I'm knocking out the park.
Maybe like an 8.
What?
Like, I quite maybe a 7 actually.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely not true.
Yeah,
that's the issue.
True, yeah.
I mean, it's a cool theory. The other little problem with it is, it's kind of hinted at that every time a Terminator is sent back, it kind of creates a different timeline.
Yeah.
So Skynet, or the artificial intelligence, Genesis as it's now called.
Yeah.
It's not, it's called Skynet. They would have to think, oh, like there's no chance for us, but I can create another timeline where we become successful.
Yeah.
/ where John Connor becomes successful. So there are a lot of asterisks.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe a 7 though, because I still quite like. And Terminator is built on twists and mind blows.
Yeah.
So it would be another pretty cool one to find that out. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, my last one.
Okay, I hope it's a good one.
We're going into the Dark Knight world.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. That unclean world.
That unclean world. So in fact, the Dark Knight we're doing. Yeah.
Okay.
Now this, the kind of name of the theory is that the Joker is the hero.
Okay, I think I've heard things about like this before, but carry on.
Okay, so you had Batman Begins, yeah?
You did have Batman Begins.
Gotham was horrendous, terrible.
Yeah, it was in a bad way.
It was in a bad way. And Batman happened. And he was a vigilante, we all know this.
Yeah.
And he tried to clean up the streets and that, yeah?
Yeah.
But what it managed to do, between Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, there are huge criminal organisations.
Yeah.
You know, the scene when we first meet the Joker, not the first time we meet him, when he gets introduced to all of the criminal families.
Yeah.
When they're having the meeting.
Yeah.
How many was that? There's so many gangsters of both.
There's at least 5 like teams.
Like 5 teams of
and that's just like the heads. They all have their own little. Yeah.
So crime is still rampant, even though Batman has been around for a while. So he hasn't actually stopped crime, and some may argue that he's actually caused more crime. And that's always been the discussion between the Batman and Joker.
Yeah.
If there wasn't a Batman, would there be a Joker? Blah,
Yeah.
blah.
Yeah.
So what if the Joker was actually the good guy, and he actually did have a plan? Although he says, you know, do I look like a guy with a plan? That he actually did.
Yes, you do. Right.
What if he...
And we know he has a plan, because think about the bloody opening scene, where that is like a really intricate, complicated plan.
That's a really intricate plan, yeah.
So
really
that is
because
watertight.
If any step went wrong, then he's dead.
Yeah.
Because they all look the same, and they're all shooting it. Yeah. So he managed to trick...
So he is a man with a plan. We've established that. Carry on.
He's managed... So that first heist was to steal the money from the supposed different mafias in Gotham, yeah? To get the attention of Lau, who was their accountant, who had pulled all their money together, yeah?
Yeah.
So he then also gets the attention of Batman to get Lau from all the way from the other side of the planet. He brings him back in.
Yeah, that's a...
which then gets all of the mafia bosses worried, and then that allows the Joker to steal all of the money. You remember he has that massive scene where he has all of their money, and he said, I've taken care of all your money. He then burns it all.
Yeah.
He is...
Not just his half as well.
No, all
burns
of it.
the lot.
He burns the lot, and the Joker...
And he managed to find people that were happy to burn that much money when they were probably earning $6 an hour.
Well, they were all insane. That was implied.
Also true.
So the Joker, not only has he now he's now managed to group all of the mob bosses and take away all of their money. Yeah.
Yeah.
He also does. So he's kind of heavily hit organised crime in Gotham. Yeah.
Yeah.
More so than Batman ever could. Then on top of that, he.
True.
Yeah.
I've never thought that. Yeah. Carry on.
And then as well, you get to then another problem that they constantly are dealing with is the corruption in the police force and in the law.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? That you have these politicians, you have these police officers who are getting paid by the mafia to do and say certain stuff.
Yeah.
And the Joker devises such a way to weed out who was the ones who who were easily corruptible. When he has the scene with Two-Face, Harvey Dent, in one place, and he has I forget her name. I'm not going to say Lois Lane, not the Lois Lane equivalent in Batman
Maggie Gyllenhaal's character.
Yeah, Maggie Gyllenhaal's character, the love interest.
Really annoying me. Yeah, Rachel Dawes.
Yeah,
right.
Has her in another room, and then he's able to. You remember he's able to weed out who was the one who ratted, who was the one who You remember this? And it was that woman, and that she had been threatened. Do you remember this?
I don't know.
So in the Dark Knight, to get to Harvey Dent, they had to steal him, didn't he?
Yeah.
And in order to do that, the Joker was able to show that the police force was corrupt enough that he was able to steal such an important person and tie him up and put him somewhere else.
Right.
Yeah, that was all part of his bigger plan. Yeah. And it shows that the corruption in the police. And then by then lying to Batman and saying, oh yeah, Maggie Gyllenhaal's in that room, and Batman goes there and meets up with Harvey Dent, and he's like, oh my god, Maggie's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
spoilers for the Dark Knight.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Right.
And then you have Harvey Dent going on a murderous rampage, killing everyone he believes to be a corrupt police officer. He kills 2 or 3 police officers who were all corrupt.
Yeah.
And as well kills a few of the mob bosses on the way out as well.
Yeah.
And that's all triggered by the Joker.
So the Joker's done more good than Batman.
Yeah. And then as well you've got that other scene.
There's more, right.
Yeah, there's more. You've also got the other scene where you have, you remember there's 2 boats of people.
Yeah.
Yeah? And that the Joker through this whole time he has shown the corruption of the organised, well obviously organised crime is corrupt. Yeah. Organised crime, he's able to get rid of that, or hit a massive dent into that. Then as well shown the corruption in the police and bring that to light. And then as well he's able to show to Gotham the people that they're so much more above that. I mean, this point you could argue because you have the 2 boats and they can blow up each other and they agree not to blow up each other. And then the Joker sounds disappointed, but maybe he isn't. Maybe he actually wanted them to realise we're better than that and we don't have to be corrupt anymore.
Yeah.
And then, his other problem with Batman as well. And he was able to get rid of a vigilantism is illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we all think Batman's really cool and that, but he is going around beating up people and putting them in hospital.
If that happened in real life, they'd be like, who is this guy?
There'll be a worldwide manhunt and he would be captured and imprisoned because it's not your place to be the judge, Yeah. Yes, someone has committed a crime, but there's procedures that need to be followed. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they weren't. So if you look into the Dark Knight Rises, he's been retired for 8 years after the Joker's gone. So not only is he's
cured the Batman problem.
He's cured the Batman problem. He's cured the organised crime
as well.
There was lower crime in Gotham after the Joker.
They captured more people with the Harvey Dent Act or whatever they called it.
Perhaps if he is the man with a plan, and he did,
which we know he is. Yeah.
And as well, he helped put Commissioner Gordon in position by taking out the other commissioner, and Gordon's a much better commissioner. Yeah.
I wasn't expecting to like this theory so much. I really wasn't.
Yeah.
There's a lot of evidence to support it, to be fair.
Yeah.
But
if you understand that he has a plan and that he's lying, and that
which we know he does.
Yeah.
My only issue is, and it's quite a big one, the Joker's whole thing is that he just doesn't care.
Yeah.
He's just like, anarchy.
Yeah.
And he just thrives off that. And all of these things are a result of what he does.
Less anarchy, more chaos.
Chaos, sorry, yeah, whatever. It's all the same. And he just
Yeah.
And all of these things happen because of what he's done, but maybe he doesn't think about it like that. And there is the scene that I think sort of confirms this when Alfred and Batman are talking.
Yeah.
And he tells him about the ruby thief or whatever it is.
Yeah. Some men just see the world burn.
Yeah. And the fact that there were positive consequences to some of the stuff he did, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
It
does take away from the character of the Joker, because that's what we all love about it. We don't like the fact that the scars on his face. He kept on telling a different story each time. Yeah. We all love that because you don't know, and you don't know where he's coming from. You don't know why he's doing it. There are hints and clues, but there's nothing confirmed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, my one more thing with it is that the Dark Knight trilogy does the are the bad guys really the bad guy thing They do it in Batman Begins with Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah.
Being like
his cleanse.
Yeah, his methods you might not agree with, but he's kind of got the best intention in one way. And then obviously the Dark Knight Rises comes back to that with Bane and Talia al Ghul. Spoilers, by the way. And I think the one, the Joker is such a different villain to that. He isn't like, I ultimately I want the best Gotham for everyone.
Yeah. He just wants to have fun, and his version of fun is chaos.
He's like, who cares what happens? Let's go for it. But I do like it.
Yeah,
I do like it. Yeah. If it, I like it as a fan theory though.
Yeah.
If they made Batman 4, link here. I don't know if I'd like it if that came out to be the truth, but I do like it, and I was interested in it as a theory. So I'd probably give it like a 7.5.
So you'd say the Matrix one was the best one.
Yeah.
The Matrix is the Matrix.
That was possible and plausible.
And then we go into the Joker is the hero.
Yeah.
And then Terminator.
Yeah.
Did it on purpose.
But they were all good.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
we did another... I don't know if you guys have seen it. Another video about fan theories where I just kind of ripped you apart. I didn't like them at all.
No.
These ones, I like them a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had a lot of flipping on their head. But yeah. Cool. All right. Do you guys have any fan theories? Do you like these fan theories? And what would you rank, between the Matrix, Terminator, and the Joker theories? What would you rank each one? Let us know in the comments below.
All right. Thanks for listening, guys. Bye.
Bye.
But what better way to motivate Nick Fury to do something than to tell him not to do something?
3 stories, all just from different parts of the world.
And different time points as well.
Yeah, if they had, actors in those parts.
They had actors in the film.